The format has settled itself and we still see Snake Eyes as the top contending deck. But there are also many other decks such as Tenpai, Voiceless Voice, Labyrinth and Branded and many more, and we do have to know how to actually counter these decks. So in this video I will rank the best hand traps from worst to best, so stay tuned for that. We got Strong to Warrock, which is actually the worst. So yeah, we'll just go on with the first. So this is actually not that good right now because the Lancia, it prevents you from banishing, and this is only good against Fluandereeze, and I think it is good against, yeah, Orcust, but these, I mean, Fluandereeze really suffers from this. Orcust does lose to this, but I mean, you will not meet an Orcust player like maybe once in 3 regionals, but yeah, so I think this is just outright bad. Then we got the Contact C. So this special summons itself to your opponent's board if he special summons, and then you have to use this as a link material or fusion, Xyz, whatever, first before your opponent can do anything else. And this will pretty much only give him free link fodder. So this is only good against Branded, maybe, when they already committed to a fusion summon, because they cannot use this. It's an earth insect, so there's nothing they can fuse this into. So I guess this is not bad, but it's really not that good right now. Then we got Ghost Ogre. Ghost Ogre is definitely a good hand trap right now because it is really good against Tenpai, and it is also really good against the Voiceless Voice. So you should definitely at least play this in a side deck. So we should definitely put it as a good. I wouldn't say it's a strong hand trap because it really isn't good against any other matchup. If you play it against Kashtira, you're just going to look at it and be like, why did I draw this? And also you cannot activate it under Shifter, so it's also not good under Shifter, and it's not a good end against Fluandereeze. Maybe if they don't have Shifter, but then it's like a 50-50. Did they draw the Shifter or did they not draw the Shifter? So I think it's definitely a good staple, but I would maybe consider playing 2 in the main deck, but not 3. Yeah. Then we got Ghost Bell. Ghost Bell is, in my opinion, a decent hand trap, because it can actually hit some decks really well, but it's not that applicable to every deck, because Ghost Ogre, like if you're playing against Voiceless Voice, Ghost Ogre is just a better card. If you're playing against Snake Eyes, just Veiler, Imperm, Ash are much better, and there's like no big cards you can hit with the Ghost Bell. You can maybe hit the Albion and the Lubellion from Branded, and you can also prevent the Puppet Lock if they don't have Lost. So I think it's decent. You can definitely side this, but you should not main deck this. Then we got this. This is just, I don't know what to say. This does actually nothing, because right now the only deck that you would consider running this is maybe against Tenpai, and Tenpai can just OTK you through this, because if they get to the Trident Dragon, this will just make it so that you will gain 3000 life points because of the Trident Dragon, and then the Dragon activates its effect, pops the field spell, and then gains the additional attack, plus it gains the double attack. So this isn't really doing anything, because you will not gain these life points, because the monster's already on the field and just boosts its attack, so they will just attack for 18,000 damage, but you gain 3,000, so that's not really doing anything. Then we got Veiler. This is maybe, yes, this is definitely a strong card, and you should definitely main this if you can, because Snake Eye. We don't have to talk about it. Snake Eye is definitely the best deck right now, and this just kills Snake Eye. So if they normal summon Ash or go for Diabellstar or whatever, you can just Veiler it, and if you have another Veiler or another Impermanence, then you probably win the game. So yeah. Then we got Ash. Ash is definitely really strong. The only downside of Ash is that your opponent can get Heater, and with Heater they can special summon this on the board, so it's definitely strong. You don't have to play this, but I would definitely consider this if you have enough room. Then we got Impermanence. Impermanence is definitely top of strong, because it is like Veiler, but you can actually use it in your own turn, and it doesn't turn on Triple Tactics Thrust and Triple Tactics Talent. So this is definitely strong. It's same reasoning as Veiler, but there are also other cards you can get with this, like for example the Appaloosa. You can just negate this and get rid of all the negates. These with other hand traps together are just really strong. Then we got Bestials. Bestials, I would say, are right now more like decent. You can definitely side deck these against Voices and Branded, but if you're not playing Tempai and use Magnamut to search another dragon, then this is more lackluster than super strong, because there is no like big light or dark target. Also the Snake Eyes deck with the new cards do not play as many dark cards you want to get back from the graveyard, except for like IP. Also, most of the time the player who plays Snake Eyes will get to Appaloosa first before they get the IP out of the graveyard or into the graveyard. So I don't think this is really good right now. It's definitely decent against Branded and other decks, but not against every meta deck. Then we got Ghost Mourner. Ghost Mourner is probably top of good. It's not as good as Veiler and Imperm and Ash, but it's definitely really good against the Snake Eye match. But you actually will play these three over this every time. So yeah, then we got this. I don't actually know why I got this in here. It's just same thing as this, but it needs a discard and it has to stay on the field, so it's not that good. Then we got Gamma, and I will just put Delta right beside it because I think these are really good. These are, for me, I think these are always more like side deck cards because you cannot activate them when you go first. So you should definitely side them, but post side they are really, really strong because every deck plays spell cards, every deck plays monster cards, and if you draw one of them, it's really funny because if you have Ash and Delta against a Branded player, and you, for example, Ash anything, they will probably think that they are really safe because of the because then they can activate Branded Fusion without any problems, and then you activate Delta and they're like, whoa, why do you do this? Why do you play Delta? And not anyone, there's no one who expects this card, so you should definitely at least try it in your side deck. So yeah. Then we got Shifter. Shifter is, of course, if your deck can play it, it's just the best hand trap at all. Like if you're playing Fluanderies, of course you want to draw Shifter, and it is definitely better than every other card because it is just a lingering floodgate. It's just super strong, but most decks cannot play it. If you're not playing Exorcister, Kashtira, or for example Fluanderies, then you cannot really play this. Maybe Vanquish Soul can play this, but yeah, that's more of a tier 2, tier 3 deck. Yeah. Then we got Nibiru. Nibiru is definitely also strong. I would maybe put it in good and not strong because this is definitely good against Snake Eyes, but there are many decks like Voiceless Voice, for example, who can play under Nibiru or without playing into Nibiru, or they have the Omni Negate live before they get to the 5th summon. So I definitely think that this is a really good staple, and in combination with one of these 3 or Mourner or Delta or Gamma, this is really a super strong card, but I just don't think that this is as applicable as like these 4. So yeah. Then we got Epsilon, I think. This is just bad. This is really super bad because, of course, if you're negating like Welcome Labyrinth or Big Welcome Labyrinth with this, you will feel really good. But the funny thing is, most of the time, your opponent will not just outright activate it in your draw phase, the Big Welcome, for example. And if they wait for you to normal summon anything, you just cannot activate this anymore. So this is then really dead. And also they can just Ash it. So if you go Big Welcome and you go like Epsilon and then I go Ash and they have no other trap, then you're pretty much screwed, because then I have to start my turn, then I have to do anything, play any card, and after I did that, I cannot activate the Epsilon anymore, and then yeah, it's pretty much dead in your hand. So that's why I wouldn't consider this. Then we got Troll. Troll is definitely a good card. I think it's definitely over this because these you can only activate going second. So Troll did really fell off the last format, but right now, because it got more diverse and more searching, especially with Tempai and Voiceless Voice, and there are many decks that search a lot, so I would definitely say this is at least good. And also in combination with other hand traps, this is always super strong, so I would definitely consider running this if you have the room for it. I would definitely say that in some formats like the Morna or the Nibiru are definitely better, but sometimes you can, in this format at least, put this in. You probably have to at least side 2 draws, 3 draws, so yeah, that's really good. Then we got Vados. Vados is decent, I guess. It's really only good against field spell decks, so Menadium, Kashtira, and that's pretty much it. It's really good against Menadium, but Kashtira doesn't always have the access to the field spell, so I guess you can definitely play this against these matchups, but you shouldn't play this when you should definitely play this when you're playing against Tenpai, because this hitting the field spell is just super strong. Then we got Crow. Crow is definitely at the top of decent, I guess maybe better than Vados, because it hits Pearly, it hits Voiceless, it hits Snake Eyes a little bit. It does have a lot of applications, more than the Bestials, but I would definitely not say that it's super good right now. So if you have the room, if you think that you're playing against maybe Voiceless, Pearly and Branded, that you should definitely think about this, because this is just more, this just has more application than the Bestial, because it can also hit the Pearly traps and not traps, the Pearly spells. So yeah. Then we got the last one, that is Phantasme. I think it's decent. It's decent. You can play this against Snake Eyes and against, yeah, maybe Snake Eyes. So if you really think that you will face a lot of Snake Eyes in your next tournament, you can definitely side this. But I would be, I don't know. There are just better options right here. So yeah, you can think about it, but definitely not the strongest hand trap. Okay, that's it for the video. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any other suggestions, any hand traps that I missed, please write it down in the comments, and have a nice day.